You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
And we are back with our first of 4 quarterfinal matches. I am Mark, aka chibikawaii, in the booth with me. I got Rhino. We've got aReNGee versus aReNGee. Rhino, what do you think about the matchup?
Ooh, this one is mid-range versus mid-range. And aReNGee is going to have to be the aggressor in this matchup, I've got to say. You know, his curve's a little bit lower to the ground, a little bit more aggressive, right? Crown Watch, Paladin, Rip Knife, Assassin, Unseen Commando, Valkyrie, Enforcer. These guys want to attack and try and end this game, because if you get into a protracted drag-out grind fest against this Xenon mid-range deck, you're going to have a problem, right? 4 Xenon Obelisk, 4 Predatory Carnosaur, 4 Twin Brood Sauropod. That's a lot of built-in 2-for-1s on the top end. So aReNGee needs to get an aggressive start to this game, because the Tavrod grindy plan isn't really where you want to be here, right? This Argentport deck has shifted away from having a lot of removal main deck. It's just an Annihilate here, a Vanquish there, and then some Slays, right? The Auric Runehammers, sideboard. It's a lot of units with nice ways to augment them, backing them up in the 4 Bloodletter and the 4 Inquisitor's Blade. So that is the game plan now for aReNGee. So if they get into a board stall, they're going to have a tough time breaking it. But I think they have the tools to do that, even being lighter on removal, because Valkyrie Enforcer can silence Sandstorm Titan, because these weapons can help you slam in. It is certainly doable. And your Crown Watch Paladin, pretty weak in this matchup, but Rift Knife Assassin can do a lot of work. And as these sabotages can go a long way, although there is a high chance of them whiffing in certain spots as well.
Yeah, and I'm curious, how has Inquisitor's Blade been? I haven't gotten to see it on camera much.
It's pretty sweet as we see this match get underway. This first game does not look good for aReNGee. Needs a shadow source and needs threats. And aReNGee will be able to open on Crown Watch Paladin, set up the Argentport banner next turn, and Paladin notably gets buffed by Unseen Commando. So while this match doesn't look like we'll have much to commentate on this first game, let's talk about Inquisitor's Blade. It's a 3-1 weapon that you can put on units, and they gain flying, and then the blade itself kind of has revenge. If the unit it's on dies, the blade goes back into your deck in a random spot in the top 10 cards, and it gains destiny. So it can come back, be put on another one of your units. That unit gets flying, and you can start swinging. Notably with Tavrod, if it's in your deck and you grab it with Tavrod, you can equip it on your Tavrod before he hits your opponent. So you just have a giant flying, like 13 strength Tavrod, and your opponent dies. So that's also pretty sweet. So it's one of these extra tools that like Argentport can leverage in a grindy game, which it didn't previously have access to. And while it's up front seems like an unreliable grindy card, it's apparently it's better than it looks, right? But aReNGee did find a shadow source, got to use a banish, but is it too little too late? We'll have to see, as they'll struggle to catch back up. It's not like Varus Choices. It can buy you some time, but it's not going to permanently deal with these threats. But there's a Sandstorm Titan, but aReNGee hasn't been able to take this Annihilate out of hand yet with Sabotage, and aReNGee still has a pair of Valkyrie Enforcers anyway. So on
top of a Slay also in hand. So Slay, Annihilate, just literal 4 answers too.
I said the Argentport deck has less interaction or removal than it used to. It doesn't mean it has none. It still has plenty. And here we'll see aReNGee instead choose to try and buy themselves some time and use a pair of Varus Choices to cut down on aReNGee's clock.
Well, that's a 7-5 Crown Watch Trader coming off the top for aReNGee. And we immediately seen that play. Of course, Crown Watch Trader changes its power and toughness each turn, so it's going to sit back and be a 5/7 blocker, which is very convenient for blocking Sandstorm Titan. But when attacking, it's going to be a 7/5 quick draw, which is also very good for attacking into a Sandstorm Titan.
Yeah, and we're going to see another Varus choice, just aReNGee trying to stay afloat here, but there's these threats from aReNGee are just going to keep coming. Even with this one Crown Watch Trader getting silenced, it's still a permanently a 5/7, but we'll choose to play the 6/4 Crown Watch Trader that still has quick draws that swings better into Titan, although with the Slay in hand that, both players are aware of, doesn't really matter as Alarmadillo scoops it up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, congratulations to HeyYU taking it down. Alarmadillo having a few power and influence struggles in the beginning there. I have to imagine our game 2 will be a little bit more competitive.
Well, if we're lucky, maybe the Argenport mid-range deck will have terrible power issues and it'll be another non-game, right? No?
Just an eye for an eye? Is that
fair is fair. That's what the people want. No, but I agree. The Varus Choice, not exactly the best removal spell when you're behind and you have to use it on units on board. It's just, it's nice upside that it can do that, like when you're beating down and clearing a path with it. But normally that's, 3 of them all used on units when you have no units yourselves on board. Not an ideal scenario.
How do you feel about this hand from HeyYU? I don't know. I don't know if I keep that or not.
It's all depleted power, but the fixing's good. You don't have a 2-drop, but I don't know how important that is in this matchup.
And they're all crests, so you get a whole bunch of scouts. Looks like HeyYU decides to keep it. Alarmadillo just playing out some depleted power, shipping the turn. HeyYU going to do the same. Finds an Arc Interrogator on top of the deck, thanks to the scout from the crest, and keeps it there.
All right.
All right, Varus Choice, though, coming off the top. What do you think this is tagging?
Your Wasp matches up well against Paladin. I don't think that's going to get taken here, but you also have Banish. I think the Commando still goes, although Paladin can wear Bloodletter, but Alarmadillo doesn't know about that.
Ooh, Tavrod is taken.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not guaranteed to find a great answer to Tavrod, even though it's really far away. You're probably planning on getting to that point eventually. But that does tax your Banish now in that it kind of has to hit Commando instead of Trader, or you just tolerate Commando's existence, I guess.
Yeah, and Blister Sting Wasp was also an answer for Tavrod as well.
Sure, eventually, if you think it's going to last that long. And Alarmadillo just drawing a bunch of obelisks. That's a rough spot because would have loved to have seen a 2/4 Blister Sting Wasp here to line up against this unseen Commando. But that might not come out from HeyYU. We'll see. As now they've found the power to cast these Crown Watch Traders, and they have no issue swinging into Blister Sting Wasp.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I like the Traders coming down first no matter what, because Unseen Commando is always going to get the buffs later on. But we do see the Banish immediately come out from Alarmadillo, taking out the Crown Watch Trader and taking the turn, playing another Blister Sting Wasp. HeyYU drawing some power. Probably going to play out the other Trader?
Yeah, I think you just run it back. Your other cards all cost 3, so if you draw in depleted power, you can pair them up. And there we go. Alarmadillo finds another power. It's a Shadow Sigil, though, so who knows, even if they draw 2 more power, when this Carnosaur will be able to come out. But in the meantime, 2/4 Blister Sting Wasps still do nothing against this Trader. And boom, now it's in the air. Don't know if giving it flying really all that mattered that much here. But hey, whatever. Now it's a 4/8 on the other side.
Was there merit to playing it on the Crown Watch Paladin?
No, because it can swing now, but it still trades with Wasp. But there we see Alarmadillo draw an excellent card in Xenon Initiation, which takes out the Crown Watch Trader because it buffed up Blister Sting Wasps to a 3/5. HeyYU draws depleted power, so won't be able to play out 2 cards here, and will choose to deploy the Auric Interrogator. And these Blister Sting Wasps are a thorn in this Argenport player's side right now.
Yeah, and that's why I would have liked to have seen the Blade go on to the Crown Watch Paladin, is because I think I'm okay with trading.
Yeah, like
that
when
for the one of the Wasps. Yeah.
Like this Paladin effectively is not a card for the rest of the game.
Yes.
Until that Blade comes back. I agree that just putting the Blade on the Trader was just kind of a weird play. I don't know if playing the Blade on Paladin was probably a better play. I might have just not put Blade anywhere, though.
That's fair, too. Yeah.
But in a game, wow, aReNGee finds a
Gosh.
6 power, and it is a time source. It's a time sigil off the top. So Carnosaur gets to come down, and HeyWyu needs that Inquisitor's Blade to come back soon. I think that's why they played it out there, was they realized this game might shift into a grindy experience. So getting some value out of that blade as soon as possible was important. But aReNGee now has 3 obelisks in play. And Carnosaur coming in. This is not looking good for HeyWyu.
3 obelisks at 7 power. So a power off the top means aReNGee gets +3/+3 to their entire board of already giant dudes.
Yeah, now these Blizzarding Wasps have effectively been nerfed because now they're in Vanquish range, but aReNGee accepts that and swings in with a couple, leaves 1 back, just the 4/6, and the Auric Interrogator now gets to start doing its thing. But there's the Inquisitor's Blade, can come down on Interrogator to at least cantrip. At the end of turn, like you could have put it on Unseen Commando, which would have allowed it to swing into this 4/6 Wasp and gain you some life, but I think that's sort of just trying to
wishful thinking.
Yeah, like plug up a problem with a band-aid sort of thing where you need to really dig your way out of this. But aReNGee found that 8th power, has a Zenith Initiation as well if they want to use it on anything here. Let's see. HeyWyu's at 10. Yeah, I like an A space.
Yeah, because you can block the 2 units in the air.
Any double block means HeyWyu dies, so they have to chump in spots, and yeah, they scoop it up.
Yeah.
3 obelisks on 8 power. That's hard to beat.
Yeah, well, I guess we tied that up.
Blizzarding Wasp is a card that I think has really gone up in value in this matchup because Argenport's not main decking Auric Runehammer anymore. They have less clean answers to it, right? You have to either silence it with a Valkyrie Enforcer or slay it. And both of those effects are really valuable against a deck playing Sandstorm Titan. And we saw that to its fullest extent in that game there. This innocuous 2-drop just causing all sorts of problems for aReNGee or for HeyWyu.
Well, and so you mentioned the Auric Runehammers. Did we think that HeyWyu is going to be bringing those in?
Ooh, they are really nice, I think, here. They clean up all of aReNGee's 2 and 3 drops and give you really nice board presence in the mid game. It's, again, one of those ways to try and keep up with the 2-for-1s that aReNGee can present in the way of like Twin Brood Sauropod. It's really a question of if you're bringing them in, what are you taking out? What part of your game plan is not as appealing? We talked about how Crown Watch Paladin not that good in this matchup, but if you're taking that out, you're slowing down your game plan, trying to go bigger, trying to go removal heavy. That could end up backfiring against the deck with 4 Xenon Obelisks if aReNGee decides to stick to that game plan.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, that's an excellent point. I don't know quite what you are cutting. Like you could go down, you could probably get rid of the Annihilate to bring one in.
Cutting Annihilates against a 4 Carnosaur deck seems kind of, crazy. Like maybe the Slays, if anything, like go in favor of Annihilates and Vanquishes in a way.
That's fair.
And then that's kind of the tricky thing here is both players are presenting threats coming at a lot of different angles that you need to account for.
Well, I guess, but like, is Carnosaur that great? It doesn't kill your. Or well, I guess no.
It's not only that Annihilate cleanly deals with the Carnosaur. Like, look at aReNGee's list. Yeah, it doesn't kill Wasp and it doesn't kill Ion. It kills everything else. Your opponent's trying to set up Xenon Initiations and Interrogators, and simply put, Annihilate costs 2 and deals with all of it. Right?
That's fair.
If you can actually get to a point where you're casting 2 spells a turn before your opponent as an Argenport player, you're really happy about that, and that's a big part of this matchup, I think, is who can get those big tempo swing plays where it's like, all right, you're playing 4, 5, 6 cost things. I'm answering them with 2 cost things and presenting a 3 cost threat. I think that's where Argenport midrange wants to be in this matchup.
That makes perfect sense. I'll get behind you on that.
Yeah,
one,
that all being said, I'm still sketchy about keeping Crown Watch Paladin here because, as we saw that last game, it can just be a dead card fairly often. You're really relying on Unseen Commandos and Bloodletters helping to push it through in spots, and that's, I don't think, a realistic option post board.
Yeah. So we do see both of players getting underway for our game 3 here. HeyWyu going ahead and taking a mulligan, drawing a new hand. Our Alarmadillo looks like they're doing the same. HeyWyu, actually, I don't hate HeyWyu's hand.
Yeah, so we see HeyWyu still has the Crown Watch Paladin, so resigning themselves to being like, I have to be the beatdown. Yeah, this 2-drop's not always ideal in this matchup. There's a lot of things that can get in its way, but I don't want to mess up my curve. I don't want to mess up my beatdown game plan.
Ooh, I was wondering if we were going to see a sabotage on turn 1 here. That's exactly what we do see. HeyWyu firing off the sabotage and taking the Varus choice. How do you feel about that?
That means, let's see, the Vera's favor into banish line is open, but if they're using a banish on Crown Watch Paladin, you're super okay with that. Whereas Vera's choice is a strong play on turn 2 and answers your traitor that you have in hand super cleanly, so they didn't want to deal with that. The more interesting thing here is we see Crest come down rather than Crown Watch Paladin, valuing, I don't know, that you saw banish, so I don't think we want to open on Unseen Commando here. They just want to get their Crest out now, and they're okay with delaying Crown Watch Paladin a turn, as Alarmadillo has not drawn a unit yet.
Yeah, that's completely fair. It's still I don't know. I would have liked to see Crown Watch Paladin get down a little bit because, exactly to your point, you know what's in their hand in terms of you most kind of do.
Yeah, and that's kind of further emphasizes the problems with Crown Watch Paladin. Like, what if you were holding off and playing on 2 because on turn 3 they're representing Ion? Sabotage doesn't tell you whether or not they have an Ion. That gives you some awkward positioning anyway. So I think they were like, all right, I'm not really going to swing with this Paladin until I have an Unseen Commando in play, and I probably won't be able to play Commando next turn if I have 2 crests in hand, so I might as well just delay everything, and that's what HeyWyu did.
This also forces Alarmadillo to hold up or use the banish on their turn right away. Thankfully, they drew another Blister Sting Wasp, so that's going to gum up the work seal even more. We got a Riptide Assassin, and the banish is now gone, so HeyWyu can go ahead and play this Crown Watch Trader out with no real big fear there.
Yep, so Commando eats that banish, clears the way for Trader. And now Alarmadillo doesn't have any great answers to this threat that's going to be doing 5 damage a turn. We'll just plop down the Rheinarch. Now that does actually present a way to deal with this traitor. You can double block with a Rheinarch and a Blister Sting Wasp on this Crown Watch traitor. Can only kill one, and the other one will finish it off.
Yeah, the Slay makes it a little harder.
Yeah, Slay makes it impossible, actually. And HeyWyu will probably deploy that, and it'll pair very nicely with Rip Knife Assassin. That's what I was talking about here, like being able to play cheap unit plus semi-cheap removal in these mid-game turns will be key to this matchup. And it's been going both ways, right? We saw some of these Blister Sting Wasps get to they could have paired up with other plays if Alarmadillo had them. He didn't, but now is drawing some more goodies. But this Rip Knife Assassin's going to be a real nuisance for Alarmadillo as well.
Yeah, and HeyWyu with that second Slay is going to be able to answer the Sandstorm Titan that Alarmadillo is playing here. Wow, Tavrod off the top.
Yeah, that's a Tavrod, which gets super annoyed by those Blister Sting Wasps. So, yeah, it looks like HeyWyu won't be deploying Slay just yet, waiting to see what develops here. Just swing in with the Rip Knife Assassin, which if it takes out a Wasp, awesome. If it takes out Titan, awesome. If it takes out Rheinarch, awesome, right? Or it does 3 damage and get a Warcry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, HeyWyu is happy no matter what here. I still... Yeah, I definitely don't. I guess I don't mind this because now you do follow up and play Tavrod, and then next turn you get to play Slay on the Sandstorm Titan and get in for bunches.
I don't know if you'd use it on Titan or if you would actually use it on Wasp in this scenario, because Tavrod bounces off of Titan but still gets to start generating his value. But here we see Vara's choice off the top will simply, literally blank Tavrod as he is now just a 5/7. And in gets to come the Sandstorm Titan for 5 points of damage.
Which is fine. HeyWyu is sitting at 24, now just down to 19. Plenty of life to mess around with. Alarmadillo is not doing anything crazy like Voda comboing or anything like that.
Right.
So, yeah. Pretty safe to take that hit. There's the Annihilate. Wow.
Oh man, so HeyYU, if they want to, can simply clear this whole board, annihilate the Titan, and slay the Wasp. Don't think that's what will happen here. They'll probably prefer to play an Interrogator because your trader can already swing into Wasp, and yeah, that looks to be the game plan.
Yeah, next turn, still leaving up Slays just in case Armadillo actually pulls something notable. Should be able to answer it. Slays more than likely going to go to the Blister Sting Wasp, right? I don't know where else it's going to get pointed at. Like, because even the Ion, like, you're not super worried about because you just, worst case, trade your Auric Interrogator. I guess as long as HeyYU reads that and doesn't attack him with the Crown Watch Paladin.
Yeah, we'll see. Alarmadillo has to decide if they want to play any Vara's favors here. Notably, they're not on 6 power yet for a Carnosaur, but getting a Shadow Sigil won't help with that anyways because they don't have triple time influence either. Notably, Xenon does not have a crest like Argenport does to help with the fixing and the draw smoothing, which can really have an effect in some of these games that's more subtle than you'd expect. But yeah, HeyYU's certainly has some game plan in mind for the next turn, but they also still have a draw step to go. They have to wait to see what Alarmadillo does before they decide whether to pull off the Slay or slam down a Tavrod. And Alarmadillo simply uses a favor, deploys a power, pass.
I'm really curious to see what kind of attack we're going to see here. I guess you could just go ahead and attack in with the Crown Watch Trader and the Auric Interrogator, not even care about the Slay, right? Is it that bad of a deal to trade the Interrogator for the Wasp?
You could have also just swung with just Trader and played out Tavrod and set up the lethal attack next turn. But they go with the Slay play. They get slightly punished for it as Ion shows up and Dark Return is a draw. And now HeyYU doesn't have that super valuable Slay anymore. Yep. Alarmadillo has the biggest unit on the board with this 6/7 Sandstorm Titan.
Wow. That's a 4/3 Crown Watch Paladin. Doesn't do a ton, though.
No, it does not. And yeah, now Alarmadillo has achieved board stall. HeyYU has already used up 2 Slays and an Annihilate this game. And if this stall continues, we'll see where it goes, right? Alarmadillo wants to use these Vara's favors, try and get to that 8th power to activate Ion. And that's what we see there. And then a Reinhardt gets paired with it.
So here's a question. Would it have been better to play the Crown Watch Paladin there instead of the Tavrod? So Tavrod definitely more power efficient, but the reason why I was wondering about that is because if an Inquisitor Blade comes off the top, I think I'd rather have the unit with Aegis just to make Alarmadillo have to have 2 removal spells in order to do something.
Yeah, that's a super fair point. I can agree with that. It's one of those things, though, where Tavrod's more expensive. Just get it out of your hand. You might be able to pair Paladin in a future spot, and you know, they'd have to have exactly Banish or not even Banish. Tavrod doesn't get hit by any of their fast removal spells, so it's actually sort of a moot point. Or a moo point, maybe.
Moo!
All right, that's it for the day. I'm done. I'm out. But yeah, Ion brings back an 8/8. That's big.
We just A space here, right? GG?
No, let's see. Alarmadillo goes to 10.
It's a 10? Okay, so we're one point
so
off?
1, 2, 3, 4.
2 points
6
off.
Against 4. 4 plus, 2 points off. But yeah, just Tavrod comes in digging for that blade that you were talking about. Although, again, Sandstorm Titan is in play, so it's not like Inquisitor's Blade would be lethal anyways.
Yeah, very, very good point. If I was attacking there, I think I would have A-spaced. Yes, I do die in the crackback? No. Yes.
You lose a lot of units. Carnosaur shows up. What do you kill here, though? Interrogator, because it threatens to break the stall? Nope, they take out one of the traders instead. There's the blade.
Yeah.
If your plan is to attack with just Tavrod again, you put the blade on him and he becomes an 8/8, so he's guaranteed to trade with something, and they just hold the blade for when they can actually kill Sandstorm Titan, I think is the idea here.
Yeah, that makes sense, but I think I would have rather put the blade on the Interrogator with that line, right? So that way at least I'm drawing multiple cards a turn to dig for the removal for the Sandstorm Titan faster, and then as soon as that... all right, there we go.
There's the Enforcer. That will end the game here as it can silence Sandstorm Titan, then put the blade on the Aegis unit or the Tavrod because they don't really have a fast answer to Tavrod anyways. And yeah, that's what we see happen here.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah. Right. Yep. Okay. Alarmadillo taking the hit, falling to -1. HeyYu pulling it out. So we're sitting at 2-1. HeyYu, right?
I hope so. Or maybe I've already forgotten one of these games.
It's round 2. We can't be there yet, Rhino. We can't. We gotta hold on. Gotta hold on a quick minute.
Look, it's St. Patrick's weekend. I don't need any more excuses than that.
That is completely fair. Do you think players will be going back to the board at all? Anything new, fun, and exciting learned during that match that would change things up?
I think this matchup's kind of playing how they both expected it to. There wasn't a whole lot to that we talked about. It played out that way, right? Inquisitor's Blade and HeyYu wants to be the beatdown. Paladin's kind of sketchy, but also the sort of necessary evil, and it completely played that role that game where it did a little bit of work early, but it was certainly underwhelming in the face of some of the things that Alarmadillo was presenting.
Yeah, that's completely fair. It would have been interesting had Alarmadillo. Man, I guess I haven't actually seen In Cold Blood cast against a Justice unit yet. No, I take that back. I take that back. Last week I saw it. Yeah.
I don't know if Alarmadillo would bring in.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
In Cold Blood in this matchup. It's a pretty it's nice in that it can remove other threats from the deck, but your opponent's threat density is so high that effect isn't that important. It's more just a death strike in this matchup, effectively, and not even a fast one. It's just an expensive removal spell. They already had 2 in the main deck. I doubt they were bringing in more. Is my thought. It is an answer to Tavrod, but so something like Varus Choice, where it's much cheaper, and you don't want to have too much removal because then you don't have enough threats to actually win the game.
Yeah, completely fair. So it looks like players are deciding whether or not they will be keeping their hands. HeyYu sitting with 2 crests and an Emerald Monument along with 2 Varus Favor. Gonna keep it. Don't hate it, right? Because I guess you have a Crown Watch Trader that you can then put Bloodletter on. It's a little slow, but take what you can get.
Yeah, I think they're just happy to have a hand that will be able to sculpt out a game plan. Yeah, it's slow out the gates, but your opponent isn't likely to punish you for being that slow out the gates. And Alarmadillo's hand certainly isn't going to do that. It's light on power, heavy on dinosaurs.
Ooh, there's an Auric Interrogator being shown off the scout. Decides to keep it on top for HeyYu. I'm inclined to agree. Ooh, Varus Choice coming in. Let's see what they decide to take. They do take the Crown Watch Trader. That's going to leave the Valkyrie Enforcer in hand for HeyYu. Alarmadillo now knows about that. So they're going to have to be a little bit more careful with some of the stuff that they play, but Alarmadillo still needs to draw power to be able to play any of the units in their hand.
Yeah, it's a rough spot for Alarmadillo, but they found power off the top 2 turns in a row and crucially found one of each influence. So that's pretty nice for them here, but still a slow roller. And HeyYu finding more gas in the tank with Tavrod off the top, deploying Auric Interrogator here, and we'll see how Alarmadillo responds. Banish off the top.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I wouldn't be surprised to just see a pass here from Alarmadillo. Or, okay, they'll use the banish now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked to have seen if I could baited out a weapon, especially since HeyYu is at 4 power. That means that enables all 8 weapons that they have to be played. So it seems like a decent... I don't know.
That banish timing is a little surprising. Maybe they think HeyYu brought in Protects.
Wow.
In Cold Blood gets the traders. They're all gone.
However, there was the Crown Watch Trader already in the yard, though, so they really only got 2 extra points of...
Sure, but as I said, that's not really the big deal in this matchup. It's more just, sabotage off the top could help you protect your Titan, but it means you won't be playing a threat this turn. But they decide to deploy it, take out that Bloodletter, but can't hit Valkyrie Enforcer or Tavrod. But HeyYu finds a Sabo of their own. And we'll be interested to see if they decide to play Tavrod before playing the Sabotage.
I think I like playing the Tavrod, but I also am being tainted because I know what Alarmadillo's hand looks like.
Absolutely filthy, but yeah, but holding Enforcer as your only removal spell is also really important here. So I think playing Tavros is better than Sabotage passing. And
in cold blood off the top. Wow.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, that's might need that Valkyrie Enforcer. HeyYu clearly feeling upset about not firing off that Sabotage, but it's okay. It wouldn't have mattered. Would not have mattered. And the third. Oh,
but they'll decide to play the Titan here. It is the biggest boy on the board, and now HeyYu rips an Inquisitor's Blade that got 2 War Cries on it, but of course is going to use the Vanquish, which conveniently pairs nicely with the ripping out of the Dark Return from last turn.
Sabotage off the top for Alarmadillo.
Oh, man. But if they play that they can't use in Cold Blood here, and you're at 14. That'd be a bold move to use Sabotage against an opponent with 1 card in hand. So they go with the in cold blood. Valkyrie Enforcer, Tavrod, Crown Watch Trader, all gone. But they still have to deal with this flying 7 strength Crown Watch Paladin. And oh my god, Blister Sting lost on the top. These draws for Alarmadillo. Perfect answer.
Yeah, they're all right. That's a Bloodletter. Doesn't do a ton here, though.
It does not deal with this Blister Sting Wasp, and there's no Valkyrie Enforcers that you can draw to silence it. It's slay or bust to deal with this Wasp. There's no other answer. To it. You have to have slay if you're HeyYu. That's the only card they can draw to deal with this Blister Sting Wasp. Unless they brought in Hammer.
You could have 3 Vara's Favor, which means getting 1 out of the void.
Yeah, but now the other problem is a Sandstorm Titan in play. So even if you deal with Wasp, your Flyer's grounded. And look at this. Alarmadillos now is going to get to start attacking themselves. Well, they're attacking HeyYu with their own.
Well, this Inquisitor Blade gets to come down on the Auric Interrogator, though. So the HeyYu is at least going to be drawing 2 cards a turn to... Oh, man. But they really do it. They have to draw 2 slays. This is...
Well, they need
or just 1 now. Just 1,
They don't need... and now they actually just need to kill Titan because they have 2 lethal flyers.
So Annihilate if more of those came in?
Vanquish, Slayer, all outs here for HeyYu. But instead it's a Justice Sigil. They're down to 13. Alarmadillo's got his army of dinosaurs, but can't play out these Carnosaurs yet because they've drawn a lot of Shadow Sigils and not enough time sources.
And HeyYu has to play this Bloodletter or else they're dead. Because they have to trade off they have to trade off their units.
Yeah, because you go to 12 from the Interrogator trigger, and we see it. 12 comes in from this Crown Watch Paladin. Wasp eats it up, but HeyYu goes back to 25.
There's a slay.
The slay will line up against Sandstorm Titan. Alarmadillo doesn't have a time source, is not presenting lethal. Oddly, not swinging with Titan there. And there's the other slay, and it looks like Alarmadillo is going to go down to HeyYu here.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. This was a game right here. HeyYu wins. Congratulations, HeyYu. Alarmadillo putting up an excellent fight, but not enough. Not enough.
Yeah, if those Carnosaurs could have gotten unlocked, we'd be talking about a different story, but that is one of the weaknesses of this Xenon deck. You've got 4 Seats of Mystery, 4 Xenon Banners, only 1 Seek Power, no Amber Accolades, no Crests. Sometimes you're not going to hit that triple time requirement when you need it for these predatory Carnosaurs. Yeah,
it's very important to make sure you always have your Xenon Crest when you're playing these decks. The lack of it is very upsetting from Alarmadillo. But, what can you do? What can you do? So are we taking a... I think that's we're taking a short break. Is that right now?
I think it's a micro break.
Ooh, micro break.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting.
That small of a break.
Ooh. Well, I got
going for the world record for smallest break ever.
I got something micro that I can, share around after.
And with that, we'll see you for the next match.
We'll see you guys then.